happening that is very disturbing to me. And this is to anyone who's watching who's part of the autism community. I hope you agree with me on this, and I hope you will spread this around to more people in the autism community. There was a lot of conjecture and speculation before the election about whether the youngest Trump child is on the autism spectrum. And you know, I have said this, and I will say it forever, that I have yet to meet an autism parent that I don't love. We don't always agree on everything, right? Because we're all different people. As much as we're all part of the same tribe, we're different people. But always I have nothing but love. But I think that there are times when, and I would hope that you would do the same thing for me if I was doing this, there are times in which we forget. We forget what we're doing, we take our eye off the ball, and we do things that are not helpful to anyone. And now, since the election, I have seen so many posts of people just entering it into public as if it's fact that the youngest Trump son has Asperger's or is on the autism spectrum. And I just want to say to everybody, please stop. Please stop right now doing that. First of all, unless you are a clinical psychologist who has spent a significant amount of time in the room with that individual, you do not have the right to diagnose anyone with anything. Okay, let's start there. But let's just step back for a second and think about, one of two things is true. I guess maybe it's one of three things, but if the youngest Trump son is on the autism spectrum, then it is not public knowledge. It has not been disclosed by the family. And if that is the case, they have made that choice for a reason. And we cannot make that choice for them. And everyone has a right to make those choices. We have all fought very hard to educate the rest of the public and say, don't put that on me and on my child. That I will choose when and how to disclose. And believe me, I'm somebody who was out disclosing first, second, and talked to my child about it and was out there because that's what was right for me. And I have met many families who have said that was not what was right for us. And they say it almost apologetically to me. Please do not ever apologize for deciding how and when you're going to do that. That is your right. And for the autism parents who are on Facebook making these statements as if they are fact, I just don't even know what to say to you. If someone, think about it on the reverse side of it. If someone came to you on Facebook publicly said, oh, your child never had autism, we would all lose our minds, would we not? And say, who are you and why do you think you get an opinion in this? And I think as a community, we have to toe the line on that. We model the behavior for the rest of the world. So stop. Now, on the other, I said three possibilities here, right? One is that, yeah, he's on the spectrum and the family knows and they've made a decision. Honor it. Honor it. The second choice is, that he is not on the spectrum, and you saying that he is helps no one. I don't care what your politics are, and I think I've made it abundantly clear that I did not vote for Mr. Trump, but you know what? I fully respect his right as a parent, and the fact that now his child is going to be in the White House, and he is 10. He is 10. And he needs some space and some time, and we all need to be respectful of his space and time. He did not run for president. And, do not start putting things on this young man that you don't know and that he can't handle either way. Stop. And then the third, which a lot of you have postulated, which is that perhaps he is on the spectrum and the family doesn't realize. Well, you know what? We have all been in that space before, and if that is truly what you feel, then you have a letter to write. Speak up and write a letter. But if one of your friends had gone on Facebook and announced on Facebook that you thought that their child, oh my goodness, it is so inappropriate. It is such bad behavior. And while I still love you, it's absolutely inexcusable, and you have got to get that together, my friends. We model the behavior for the community that we want them to come back to us with, and this is not right. And if you disagree with me, please write to me and let's have a discussion about it and enlighten me as to what you think. Who is it that you think is oh my goodness. Who is it that you think is going to gain something by you writing that? It certainly isn't that young man. He is 10 years old. And it certainly is not the autism community. That does not help us. And if you think that you are in some way calming yourself down by saying that there is going to be a child with autism in the White House, I think you need to step back, check your facts, check yourself. If there is a time in which any parent discloses and says, that happens to be president and says my child has autism, then it will be a different discussion. But that is not where we are. And if you check your facts, you will see that that is clearly not where we are. Please, please stop. There, I've popped off.